beginning. I used to think the night shift at the observatory was the most boring job in the world. Endless silence, flickering monitors, slow rotations of distant stars that would never care if I existed or not. That was my life at the Hillcrest Deep Space Observation Station, tucked away in the mountains where even radio signals got tired and faded out. That night started like any other. The clock had just slipped past 11:58 p.m. I was sipping cold coffee, half watching a gravitational anomaly report that made no sense, when the station's exterior motion sensors suddenly triggered. At first, I thought it was an animal. Then I saw the feed. A figure standing right outside the main door. Not human. It was too still. Too symmetrical. The body shape looked almost human at a glance, but the proportions were subtly wrong. Longer limbs, slightly elongated neck, and a faint shimmer across the skin like oil floating on water. She stood in the snow without sinking into it, as if gravity wasn't entirely sure it had authority over her. Then she raised her hand and knocked. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. I froze. No one ever came here. The station was miles from the nearest road, and the security system was supposed to be impenetrable. I checked the external cameras again, thinking maybe it was a projection glitch. But she was still there, waiting. And then, against every protocol I had ever been trained to follow, I pressed the intercom. "Identify yourself," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. The figure tilted her head slightly. When she spoke, it wasn't through the intercom. It was directly inside my mind. "I am not here to harm you. I am here because your world is about to be erased." My grip tightened on the console. That was the moment everything in my life stopped feeling real. Against all logic, I opened the door. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was stupidity. Or maybe something deeper. Some instinct that told me she wouldn't have knocked if I was already doomed. The cold hit me first. Then her presence. She stepped inside slowly, as if learning how gravity worked with each movement. The moment she crossed the threshold, the station lights flickered violently. Instruments beeped in confusion. Even a radio hissed into static. She looked at me directly. Up close, she was even more unsettling. Her eyes weren't reflective like human eyes. They were layered, like depth inside depth, as if entire galaxies were compressed behind them. Her skin shifted faintly with every breath, like it wasn't entirely solid. "I need your help," she said aloud this time. "You broke into a classified facility," I replied. "That's the part I'm stuck on." "I didn't break in," she said. "I arrived where I was directed." "By who?" She paused, as if the answer carried weight even she didn't fully like. "By your future." That was the first time I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I asked the only rational question left. "What do you want from me?" Her expression softened. "I need you to stop the transmission." I frowned. "What transmission?" She walked closer to one of the monitors and placed her hand near it without touching it. The screen instantly changed, showing a pattern, something mathematical, recursive, alive. "This signal," she said. "It is already spreading through your deep space arrays. Your own scientists do not understand what they built." I scanned the data. It matched nothing in our database. But it also felt familiar, like a language I had almost learned once. "That's impossible," I said. "We only transmit research data." "No," she replied quietly. "You opened a door." The words made the air feel heavier. She explained it slowly, carefully, like she had rehearsed it for someone who would resist understanding. The signal wasn't communication. It was invitation. Something ancient, something that existed outside conventional space, had noticed Earth's transmissions. And now it was responding, not with messages, with attention. And attention, she told me, was fatal. Because whatever existed beyond the signal didn't observe reality the way we did. It rewrote it. I shook my head. Even if I believed you, I don't have access to deep space command protocols. She stepped closer, and suddenly, images flooded my mind. I saw Earth from orbit, but fractured. Not destroyed in fire or war, but overwritten. Cities bending into impossible geometries. Oceans suspended midair. People frozen mid-motion, their faces stretched into silent screams as physics failed them. Then it stopped. I collapsed to one knee, gasping. She crouched beside me. You saw a possible branch, she said. Not your only future, but one of them. My voice came out hoarse. Why me? Because you are already connected to it. That's when I realized something horrifying. The observatory wasn't just receiving data.
It was amplifying it.
And I had been the one maintaining the system for the last 6 months, which meant I was part of the problem. Ending. We had less than 3 hours. She guided me through the shutdown process, but it wasn't simple. The system wasn't built to turn off. It had evolved around safeguards, bypassing every manual override like it anticipated human hesitation. You humans always assume control is permanent, she muttered as we worked. It is not. At the central console, I hesitated before the final command. If I shut it down blindly, I could be cutting off the only communication system capable of warning other stations. If I didn't, I might be helping something rewrite reality itself. I don't even know your name, I said suddenly. She looked at me for a long moment. We don't use names in your sense, she said, but I was assigned a translation once. What is it? Lyra. The system beeped. Countdown initiated. Final transmission window open. She nodded. Now or never. My finger hovered over the key. And then I saw something else, not from her, not from the system, but from outside entirely. A pulse. A response. Something had noticed us noticing it. It was waking up faster. I think it already knows, I whispered. Lyra's expression changed for the first time. Something close to fear, but deeper. Older. Yes, she said. That is why I came myself. You were sent to stop it? I was sent to delay it, she corrected. That hit harder than anything else she had said. Delay. Not prevent. Not defeat. Just delay. Then this won't work, I said. It will, she replied. For your world, even a delay is survival. The console screamed with alerts. Reality metrics, whatever those were destabilizing. I made the choice. I shut it down. The station went silent instantly. No hum. No signal. No connection to the deep space array. For a moment, nothing happened. Then everything stopped shaking. The monitors stabilized. The impossible patterns dissolved like mist under sunlight. I exhaled shakily. Is it over? I asked. Lyra didn't answer immediately. She walked to the window and looked out at the night sky. No, she said finally, but it is paused. Paused. She nodded slowly. It will search again. Eventually, it will find another path. But not this one. Not through you. Relief hit me, followed immediately by dread. What happens to you now? I asked. She turned to me. This form will not last long without resonance support, she said. I will return to where I came from. You mean you're dying? She tilted her head. Not dying. Reintegrating. That didn't sound much better. She walked toward the door, then paused. You were not supposed to open it, she said. But I am glad you did. That's it. I said. You almost end my world, and that's your goodbye? For the first time, she smiled faintly. If your world is still here tomorrow, she said, then I did not almost end it. She stepped outside. The snow swallowed her silhouette instantly. And then she was gone.